I have no idea what I'm about to do, but we're gonna see if it works. Hello, my name is Aaliyah Irvin, and I am going to guide you through a warm-up for runners that you would actually do in your home before you went out to run. So this could be an outdoors run, or you could just be ready to get on that treadmill. As always, warming up is important to get your body ready for the work it is about to do. So we're increasing our blood flow, we're mitigating injuries, and we're just getting ourselves happy and limber and ready to move. So find a good open space. All you will need is you and your body. So let's jump right into it. The first thing I would like to say is that I like to do more of a dynamic warm up because we are getting ready to actually do some sport type activity. So instead of the traditional sit and stretch, which I typically do afterwards, this is going to be more movement based. So let's jump into a few squats here. We're going to take our feet shoulder width apart, drop them down, or they could be hip width apart, drop them down. Good. Here we're going to hold, elbows press into the inner thighs and move side to side, getting into those ankles. Good, and pressing back up. Drop it back down. We're going to do 2 squats. And sink down, hands inside, pushing side to side. Good. Looking for anything that might feel tight. Maybe you want to lean into that tightness just a little more. Good. And press up 2 squats. Good. Thinking about pressing through all 4 corners of the foot, even when you're down here in your mobility squat. Now your squat doesn't have to look like mine. It could be deeper. It could be taller. You can even sit a block. Have a block here. Right underneath your tailbone here and press 2 squats. What I want you to practice is keeping your toes towards the front of the room. If they're out to the side a little bit, that is okay. We don't want to get into a nice plie squat though. We're going to keep it more towards the front of the room. Good. And 2 squats. Perfect. All right, so we're going to go from there into some hamstrings. We do this in the outdoor version of the warm-up, but we're going to jog a little bit here, drop down, scoop, and go back to that jog. I love a good hamstring stretch because my hamstrings are typically tight. And even though you might not feel like you're using those hamstrings when you're running, you are. I know. I had a lot of hamstring injuries throughout college. So we want to get those bad boys warmed up and ready for that run. Good. Concentrating on where our arm placement is, relaxing through the shoulders, keep them down by our hips, our hands down by our hips. Good, 1 more. Perfect. We're gonna get into those inner thighs, stretching out wide, down like a skier per se. We're hitting the slopes. Pressing into that entire foot, leaning, pressing that hip towards the outside of the room. Then we're gonna go side to side here, 2, 3, and then hold. You can even reach down to the floor. Yeah, it's just getting that good stretch and side to side. 1, 2, 3. I usually have some hip popping going on because my hips are usually very tight. 1, 2, 3. And so this gets them open and start moving. Good. 1, 2, 3. And if you have one side that's tighter than the other, feel free to stay in that side just a little longer. And then see if each time you go over there, can you get a little deeper into that side? Good. So my left side is typically tighter than my right side. So it takes a little longer for that side to open up. Good, let's do one more. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Now, we want to still work on those arms. So let's get a nice, good wide squat here. We're gonna drop down. Windmill the arm open to the top. Good, come back to the center. Drop down, press up, hamstring stretch. Good, bend the knees. One more open. Looking, that eye gaze follows that hand. Good, to the top of the ceiling. Come back to the center. Good, drop that squat down, lift those hips up. Press back, hamstring stretch. Roll down, knees slightly bent, and rotate. So we're stretching through our mid back here. Eye gaze follows. Lengthen out that neck. Keep that elbow pushed up and away. Don't sink down into the elbow. Everything's up, stacking nice and tall. Come back to the center. Sink down in the squat. And then roll everything up, leading with the hips. Pressing back into those hamstrings. Nice job. Come back, rotate. One more good time. Good, pressing everything up. Yes, nice and long. Good, come back to the center. Squat down. Press up, roll up from the hips. Hamstring stretch. Good. Coming back down to the floor. We're gonna go into a kneeling position here. Pressing that knee down into the ground, really lengthening through that hip flexor. But we're actually really concentrating on this front leg. We want to have our back hip flexor engaged. You know, some words are blah, 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 blah. And then we're actually concentrating on this front ankle. So we're going to take our knee, press, knee. We're actually taking that knee over top of the toes, getting a good deep stretch into that ankle. And then we're going to press up. We're going to take that knee to the outside. Boom. Yes. Back to the center. And then the inside. Boom. And back to the center. Go until your range of motion says stop. And then we're going back over top of the toe. Still engaging that back hip flexor, because not only are we stretching through our ankle, getting it nice and mobile, we are stretching through that back hip flexor. See, 2 for 1. I know you like it. Yes. We're almost ready for our run. Good. One more time to the outside. And back to the inside. And together. So as you notice, going through this stretch, you might have some ranges that are a little stiffer than the other, and that's okay. Press that knee down into the floor, start engaging that hip flexor. That just means that those are the areas on your cool down you kind of want to check back into to see outside if they loosened up during your run, or if you need to strengthen and mobilize those some more. Good. Yes. Knee over toe, and you're like, but I thought we were supposed to keep our knees not going over our toes. Our knees actually go past our toes from time to time. And we want to actually practice that range of motion in a slow and controlled environment, so our body is used to that movement when it does happen. Good. We want to get our ankles nice and mobile too, because when we run, we want to be able to have that flexibility through that ankle. Good. Outside and back to the inside. Yes. And coming back up towards our feet, just do a little check-in. Good little jog, staying light on our toes. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. Hands are down by our waist. How do we feel? Going from the top all the way down to our toes. Is everything nice and loose? Joints ready to move? I hope so. So get going on that run. I hope you have fun. You can do anything more than once if you want to, but I will be here anytime that you need. So thank you for joining me in this warm-up series for indoors. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to come back and see me whenever you like, and you'll be the first in the know. Ding, ding, ding. I don't know what I'm saying, but see you back.